weak thinking brings weak results. Let me begin with a simple observation that took me years to understand and even longer to accept. Life does not usually punish us for what we don't have. It responds to what we think. Many people spend their days wishing for better results, more money, stronger relationships, greater confidence, and a life that feels meaningful, yet they continue to carry the same thoughts that created their current circumstances. They hope for a different harvest without ever questioning the quality of the seed. And that, my friends, is where weak thinking quietly produces weak results. I once knew a man who worked harder than anyone in his town. He woke up before sunrise, returned home after dark, and wore exhaustion like a badge of honor. He complained constantly about how unfair life was, how lucky others seemed, and how success always belonged to someone else. One day, I asked him a simple question. If effort alone guaranteed success, wouldn't you already have everything you want? He looked at me puzzled, because no one had ever challenged the idea that struggle automatically leads to progress. What he didn't realize was that his problem wasn't effort, it was the thinking guiding that effort. Weak thinking often hides behind familiar excuses. People say things like, "This is just how I am," or "That's how the world works," or "I tried once and it didn't work." Those phrases sound harmless, but they quietly lock the door to growth. When you accept small ideas, you live a small life, not because you lack potential, but because you never demanded more from your own mind. Results never rise above the level of thinking that produces them. I remember sitting in a small room many years ago listening to a mentor speak about discipline, attitude, and personal responsibility. He didn't talk about luck or shortcuts. He talked about the daily choices we make in our minds. He said that if you don't like where you are, you should first examine how you think, because life tends to agree with your philosophy, whether it's good or bad. That sentence stayed with me because it explained something I had seen over and over again. People don't fail because they aim too high. They fail because they aim too low and call it being realistic. Weak thinking convinces you to lower your expectations instead of raising your standards. It tells you that mediocrity is safer than ambition, that dreaming big is dangerous, and that settling is maturity. Strong thinking, on the other hand, asks uncomfortable questions. It asks why you are tolerating less than you deserve. It asks why you repeat the same habits while expecting different outcomes. It asks why you are waiting for motivation instead of building discipline. And most people avoid those questions because weak thinking prefers comfort over truth. Let me tell you a story. There was a farmer who complained every season about his poor harvest. He blamed the weather, the soil, the tools, and even his neighbors. One year, a traveler stopped by and watched him work. The traveler noticed that the farmer planted seeds carelessly, skipped preparation, and rushed through the process. When asked why he worked that way, the farmer replied, "I've always done it like this." The traveler smiled and said, "Then you will always harvest what you have always harvested." That farmer didn't have a seed problem. He had a thinking problem. Weak thinking loves routine without reflection. It repeats yesterday because it's familiar, even if yesterday produced disappointment. Strong thinking reviews, adjusts, and improves. It understands that personal growth is not accidental, it is intentional. You don't wake up one day disciplined, confident, and successful. You become those things by choosing stronger thoughts long before the results appear. Life rewards those who think better before they live better. One of the greatest traps of weak thinking is blame. When something goes wrong, the mind immediately looks outward. The economy, the boss, the family, the past, the system, the timing. While those factors may influence circumstances, they rarely determine destiny. The moment you blame something outside yourself, you surrender your power to change. Strong thinking accepts responsibility not as a burden, but as freedom. Because if you are responsible, you are also capable. I have seen people with limited education build extraordinary lives because they believed they could learn. I have also seen highly educated people stay stuck because they believed they were entitled to success without growth. The difference was never intelligence, it was attitude. Weak thinking says, "I know enough." Strong thinking says, "What else can I learn?" And that single question opens doors that effort alone cannot unlock. Another sign of weak thinking is impatience. People want big results from small commitments. They want confidence without discomfort, wealth without discipline, and respect without self-respect. When results don't arrive quickly, they quit and label the process a failure. Strong thinking understands time. It understands that roots grow before fruits appear. It understands that consistency is more powerful than intensity, and that small improvements done daily outperform occasional bursts of effort. There was a young man who once said, "I'll change when things get better." An older man replied, "Things will get better when you change." That exchange captures the essence of strong thinking. You don't wait for life to improve before you improve yourself. You improve yourself, and life responds accordingly. Weak thinking waits for perfect conditions. Strong thinking creates progress in imperfect conditions. Strong thinking creates progress in imperfect conditions. If you study successful people long enough, you'll notice something interesting. They are not free from problems. They are free from excuses. They don't deny reality, but they don't surrender to it either. They use challenges as teachers instead of prisons. Weak thinking sees obstacles as stop signs. Strong thinking sees them as training grounds. And the world always makes room for those who think bigger than their circumstances. Now let me be very clear about something. Strong thinking is not positive thinking in the shallow sense. It's not pretending everything is fine when it's not. It's the discipline to tell yourself the truth, even when it hurts, and then act on that truth. It's saying, "I can do better," instead of saying, "This is good enough." Weak thinking avoids discomfort. Strong thinking embraces it as the price of growth. At the end of the day, your life is a reflection of your dominant thoughts, not your occasional hopes, not your spoken wishes, but your repeated inner conversations. If those conversations are filled with doubt, limitation, and fear, your results will echo the same message. If those conversations are filled with responsibility, courage, and intention, your results will eventually rise to meet them. Life rarely gives you what you want. It gives you what you expect and work toward consistently. So if you are unhappy with your results, don't curse the outcome. Question the thinking that produced it. Ask yourself whether your daily thoughts are strong enough to support the life you say you want, because weak thinking will always lead to weak actions, weak habits, and weak results, no matter how badly you wish otherwise. You don't change your life by changing your luck, your location, or your circumstances. You change your life by strengthening your thinking. When your mind grows stronger, your decisions improve. When your decisions improve, your habits change. And when your habits change, your results can no longer remain weak.